Hola, Gringos y Gringos, and welcome to
Gringos Are Us.
Expats with a Plan.
I'm Mark.
I'm Gina.
This week, we're going to show you what it takes to get your residency renewed and then consequently your tip renewed. Coming up next.
And welcome back. As Mark said, this is going to be all about getting that temporary residency extension and subsequently the tip extension for our vehicle.
Well, we do want to stay in the country legally, so.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So enjoy the video.
And we are here at the I&M in Progreso, just waiting for our appointment to get our 3-year residency extension. You can see Mark is engrossed in this encounter.
Oh, yes. I don't expect this to be a huge problem. I bet this is our boy.
Yes. And our facilitator has just arrived. Hoping this goes well.
The game like retro comes up.
So what do you need to renew your residency? You need to complete a tramite en línea online at the I&M website. You complete it, print it out, and then you bring it with you to your I&M appointment. You need your residency card and a photocopy of the front and the back of your residency card. Formato básico. You have to download this form, print it out, and complete the form manually. You need your passport and a photocopy of your passport photo and signature pages. Instituto Nacional de Migración. Print and manually complete this form. This is a letter that is stating your conditions have not changed in Mexico. You need your payment. Bring your money, honey. Fees will vary. You can renew for 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. Bring stamped receipt from the bank if you're paying in cash. Some I&M locations will accept Visa or MasterCard on site. Woohoo! But check with your I&M always to verify your payment options, as every office has their own requirements. Well, our appointments went well. We are now renewed for 3 more years.
Yay!
Absolutely painless process. The go-to guy.
Is the go-to guy.
He is the go-to guy.
That was relatively painless.
It was painless. I'm going to put a couple of links down below. I want to put these here because, are you looking for them, baby?
I'm just trying to see where the links are.
I want you to have access to them. These are 2 YouTubers. One of them you may know very well, Q RuPaul. And then another one I found today when I was researching this specific paperwork. Because I know there's plenty of you out there who don't want to spend the money that we spent to hire a facilitator. If you've got a great command of Spanish and you're feeling confident, there is no reason in the world why you cannot do this yourself. So you will find those links down below. Q RuPaul gives an awesome step-by-step tutorial on how to navigate the site.
Well, and you sort of gave them everything in a step-by-step direction, but that's another version of the same thing, and probably a little more detailed than Q RuPaul's. But there's a couple of things that we need to explain that weren't in there. Number one, if you're going to use a credit card or a debit card, you're probably going to want to let that institution know. Because if there are 2 of you, you don't get to combine them into one charge. So what happens is you end up with a $456 whatever ended up being charged, and then 2 minutes later 456
Identical charge.
Yeah. Showing up 2 minutes later from the same place, and it's out of the country if you're not from Mexico. So
yeah, it's a red flag for banks.
So and we did see that there was somebody that did have a problem because their bank was like, no, we're not doing this. No. Schwab saw it, sent me a text and went, are you sure? Is this you doing this? And did you authorize 2 payments? Yes. Sent yes, and they went, okay, we just wanted to know.
I mean, you could be proactive and let them know that day ahead of time that you're going to make this payment.
Yep. That you're going to be going to the government office and they won't allow you to combine, so you're going to have 2 charges that are going to be identical that will be within minutes of each other.
Right.
Just a little heads up. So
no, that's a good one.
Other than that, walk in with a smile, have a good time, because it really was as painless. And I can say this, thank God Progreso does not have the tubular steel benches that they have at the Querétaro INM.
This poor man has such a bony butt.
And the other part is we weren't there anywhere near the length of time. I mean, it was 90 minutes and we were in, out, gone.
See, so the benefit of having a facilitator is literally we did nothing.
Literally.
We paid somebody to do everything for us. Even Q RuPaul will recommend using a facilitator.
So does Ernie.
And there's a lot of reasons why this is. One of the reasons is, for example, when we were in Querétaro, you had to stand in line all night long to save your place so that you could make an appointment for the next day. Our facilitator did that for us.
And the other thing is they are aware what the current state is
most of the time
in each office, and it varies from office to office, and because they're doing it on a daily basis, they tend to be more up on what the current state of affairs is in that particular office. And then in Querétaro, our facilitator stood in line all night only to find out that particular day they implemented a change, and the change was you couldn't bring a copy of the passport. You actually had to bring the physical passport.
To make an appointment. Not to get the conhe, to make an appointment. So the benefit of having a facilitator is their familiarity with the offices that they work with. Think about that for a minute. How many times in your life do you do this? How many times a day do they do it? Pretty frequently.
Well, and I can tell you right now, when it comes time for us to convert from temporary to permanent, we will be using a facilitator.
Most likely.
And in 3 years, our Spanish should be better and everything else. But again, for reasons that Gina just stated, familiarity with the office and everything else, yes, it's money well spent.
I believe so too. And honestly, there's no stress. There's no headache. Did I fill the forms out correctly? Did I bring all the right forms? Did I bring enough photocopies? None of that. Your facilitator gets what they need. They have it all ready for you. They make the appointment for you. They hand you your paperwork.
They hand us a manila folder with our name on it and went, everything you need's in here. We handed it to the INM officer, and she just took it. She put it in a little bit of a different order. Apparently she wanted it in a different order than what the facilitator put it in. Once she had it in order, all she kept going was nombre, firma.
Firma.
Nombre, firma. Write your name, sign your name. And for about 7, 8, 9 minutes, that's what we were doing.
Exactly. Painless. Easy peasy.
Until we got to the biometrics, and then that was easy peasy, but no more signing.
Mark and I just got word that we can go out to the Aduana, out on the Pier in Progreso today, and pick up our extension for our tip. For those of you who are new to our channel and don't know what I'm speaking of when I say tip, it's a temporary import permit. When you are in Mexico, you are allowed to bring in a foreign plated car, but you must register it with customs. The only time that you can do an import of your car is if you are a temporary resident. You can nationalize a car that is foreign plated if you are a permanent resident, but you have to be within a specific, very small window of time, and then you got to pay all the import fees. But if you're a temporary resident, you can have your car for as long as you're a temporary resident. When you first come into Mexico, you get the initial 30 days. And then you go to an aduana and you get that extended, generally speaking, for a year, because your first temporary residency at the INM, when you do Canhe, is going to be for a year. We recently renewed for 3 more years. Therefore, we are going out to the aduana today to extend our tip for an additional 3 years. There's no charge to do this, but there is a process that has to be followed and paperwork that has to be completed. Therefore, we are utilizing the assistance of a facilitator type person, someone who was recommended to us by our facilitator, to help us navigate that process. That ended up being a pretty painless process. We got out there, got to ride out onto that pier. About halfway out is where the aduana office is located. Our person had already had our paperwork prepared in advance, so the SAT or the aduana had it ready. I simply had to write my name and sign. This is the paper that they provided for us. It's got the date of expiration on it. Now, this is what's interesting about that. When we did this at the office in Querétaro, they gave us a temporary sheet of paper and told us that the official document would come to us in an email. That was November of last year. They did not finalize that paperwork until August, and then they did not email it to me until September of this year. But at least right now, with this version, it's got the actual date of expiration on it. The tip extension was a little bit different than what I think either of us anticipated, because the first time we did a tip extension was to go from our 30-day Canhe limit to the 1-year temporary residency limit. And we literally just drove out to the airport, to the aduana office in Querétaro, and bada boom, bada bang, filled out a paper, got a paper back, we were done.
Well, we were driven out there. I mean,
well, we hired somebody.
We hired somebody to actually do it. And again, it was just like doing the INM, nombre, firma.
Yeah, I mean, the form at the aduana was a really, really, really simple one. Super simple one, at least at the Querétaro airport. We could have done that one easily ourselves. The benefit of us hiring a facilitator at that particular time was our infamiliarity with Querétaro, the airport, and the aduana's office. So it was worth it just to have somebody pick us up, drive us out there, help us with the paper, and come back home.
And at that particular time, I mean, we've been in the country 6 days or whatever, and our total fear of Spanish and everything else, it was like, no, somebody's going with us. So, now we're a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, this would have been something you could do. You could do this. You could do all these things, but we chose to go the safe route. This time it was different. And it's not because we were extending it 3 years. It's just different because of where we were. I'm surprised that we weren't going to an aduana at the Mérida airport. Instead, we were going to the aduana on the Progreso Pier.
And if you think about it, it makes sense because there's a customs office at the Mérida airport. But because of this pier being a actual import-export location, and trust me, you'll see the trucks all the time. You come to Progreso, that pier never rests. They have a aduana there to control what's coming into the country, both people and goods, via the ships. So it's And it was a whole lot easier going there than it was to drive. Yeah, I mean, it's only 45 minutes to get to the airport, but yeah.
The security is heightened for this pier. Yeah, there were 3 of us that were all riding together to go out and accomplish the same thing. And we had someone drive us out. We had to have, first of all, selfies. Each one of us had to submit a photograph of our face. She, our facilitator's assistant, had to take those photographs, submit them to the Aduana's office, get barcodes to be scanned at a turnstile to allow us onto the pier in the first place. And they looked at our pictures when they did it. Then our facilitator's assistant picked us up on the other side of the turnstile. She must have a card that just lets her get in and out, which would make sense.
They probably did an extensive background
Yes.
and went, okay, you're cleared.
Right. She picked us up on the other side of the turnstile, and then we proceeded about halfway out on this 4-mile pier to where the Aduana office is located. This particular Aduana didn't just take walk-ins, fill out a form, and give you your paper. This one actually takes about 3 days to a week to process your information and provide your paperwork. Then all you have to do is come out and sign it.
I think they're a lot busier at this particular Aduana than they would be at the Querétaro airport. I mean, I think there was only 6, 7 flights internationally coming into the Querétaro airport. You've got an office that's responsible. Later this week, there's actually going to be 2 cruise ships that are coming into port. They're going to have over 7,000 passengers. So they not only have to deal with the freight that's coming in, that's 7,000 people, they not counting crew, that they have to account for. And then the supplies that are going back out for resupplying the cruise lines. So there's a lot going on that pier.
But it was my experience that the security was at a heightened level. It takes a little longer to get your paperwork, but it's done for you. It's done. And it's thorough. It's so thorough.
For 2/3 of you, it was done.
Well, that's right. So,
I mean,
it's also important to note, at least here, because the security was heightened and only the people who the vehicles are registered to were allowed to go out. So Mark had to stick behind.
well, that one I was referring to.
Oh.
2 out of the 3 of you came back with your tip. One.
Oh, that's true. Yes. So yes, one guy, David. Sorry, David. He had to go back out probably this week. They lost his paperwork. They could not locate his tip paperwork.
It happens.
It happens. Yeah. Misplaced, picked up by another person in their stack of papers. Who knows?
Yep.
But yeah, he had to go back out. But for the most part, I thought this was very efficient and very easy to navigate, particularly when we have somebody helping us. I made mention in the video, and this is true. When we went out to Querétaro, what we got was basically a photocopy sheet of something that looks like it had been copied 150 times. That basically said, this is your extension, blah, 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 and it was stamped, but it did not have the extension's expiration date on it. Now, that's important, but any officer that would pull you over, Federale, National Guard, they should know that it is extended to the date on your temporary residency card. But there is a YouTube couple and that we watched not that long ago who got pulled over, and they didn't have the permanent one either. They had that temporary one like we had. And the officer was arguing with them about how it wasn't a valid sheet. It didn't have the expiration date, whatnot. That ended up okay. But the point is why have that extra headache?
That's probably the reason for the time difference between the Querétaro airport and here at the pier in Progreso. You get it quickly at the Querétaro airport, but you're getting a quick copy, and then they're going to email you the official documents later. Whereas here at the Progreso office, they're going, wait, give us time, and they prepare everything.
Right.
So when you walk out, 3 to 5 business days after it's submitted, you do have everything.
Right. I mean, the difference being the paperwork from Progreso came 10 months later.
Mm-hmm.
The convenience of getting that form quickly from Progreso really wasn't convenient because it took 10 months to get the official form. Whereas it took 3 or 4 days, actually it was almost a week.
Yeah, it was almost a week.
To get the one here in Progreso, but when we got it, it was the complete and the official form with the actual expiration date on it.
Can't go wrong that way. I much prefer taking the time and having everything. That just seemed to be a better way of doing it.
Absolutely.
My opinion.
And that is our experience getting our residency renewed and getting that tip extension.
That pretty much wrapped it up.
Hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative. We are Gringos Are Us.
Expats with a plan.
Remember, we're doing it. You can too.
And here's some other videos you might want to check out.
Hasta la próxima.
Adios.